And that doesn't always get communicated in families. I was definitely raised in a family that children were seen and not heard. And because I was raised in that type of family, I went through bullying and abuse and all types of stuff. And who I didn't have anybody to run to. And then when stuff happened, it was like, oh, she's just being a bad kid, or oh, she's just being fast for her age. But it was no, I was crying out. And so now what is currently going on is I am now an adult, and that child, that inner child, has gone nowhere. She has always been here. And that's exactly what we were sitting there talking about with the guy on the TikTok. This child has been crying out, saying the same thing to multiple people for decades. But what happens is the child's voice isn't always loud as we would like it to be. Exactly. It shows up in negative coping mechanisms. Negative. So, you know, like I said, with all the struggles and everything that I've gone through, I was so busy protecting the child that was hurt that I didn't say the things I needed to say. And that affected relationships with people, intimate relationships, personal relationships, family relationships, parenting relationships. This affected those things, and I didn't understand why. And for me to understand why, I had to understand myself, which is not easy for folks. And which is why we sit there and say there's nothing wrong with you going to therapy. Yes, it is a scary thing. And as the test subject that I am, I'm going to tell you, some people mess up. A lot of people mess up. Nothing comes instantly. You don't get fixed instantly. You don't heal instantly. It's a process. It takes time, but you also have to be willing to do it. It is literally no different than you going to school. You had to be willing to learn how to write. You had to be willing to learn how to read. You had to be willing to learn how to walk. So it's literally no difference. You have to be willing to want to grow. And you ask yourself, you sit there and say, well, what do I need to grow for? That is completely understandable, Fluffy. Completely. But a lot of people sit there and say, what do I need to grow for? I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm good. Let me tell you something. If you're driving down the street and a bunch of people are telling you, honking their horn, saying, excuse me, your tire is flat, are you going to keep driving on it? You're ignoring the fact that your car is tilting over and scraping and making all this sound. You're just blaring your music louder, driving like it ain't a thing. But everybody is like, hey, your tire is coming off the rim. The rim is starting to tilt. Your axle is now breaking. And then what tends to happen is now at this point in time, you done heeded all the warnings that everybody tried to tell you. People tried to assist you. People tried to help you. And now the axle is broken on your car. So what are you going to do? You going to just walk away from your car and keep walking? You're going to act like your car's not broke? Or are you going to call a tow truck, depending on, AAA? Is it even your car? Those are the questions that don't get asked about that type of stuff. So when it comes to your self-growth, I had people that told me certain things. And I had to be a big enough girl. I had to put on big girl panties. And I had to say to myself, okay, I've heard this a couple times. Maybe I should look into this, right? Now, some stuff, I'm not going to hold you. Some people like to use that term. Oh, it's constructive criticism. No, some people are just ass. It's just what it is. Some people are just horrible about it. Period. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not thinking about your well-being. They're thinking about theirs. And you have to learn that difference. And unfortunately, that's a hard path as well. It's not easy. People will fool you and make you think that they are in your corner and they are the main one sucking all the energy out of you. It is a process. It is a path. It is draining. It is tiring. And I'm going to tell you, as a person who is probably older than most people, which I'm not telling you my age till next month, it takes time. But eventually, you kind of got to wake up. You can't live in that fog. You can't get out of your broken car and keep walking down the street and act like all of this ain't happened. You can't sit like the meme of the dog and the thing sipping the tea and the world is on flames and you're saying it's okay. I'm okay. No, that's not good. I'm here to tell you that's not good. And it's not fair to you to live your life like that. I'm going to say it again. It is not fair to you to live your life like that. So honestly, I want to get checked out for depression or any mental health thing so I can cross that off before attempting therapy. So I'm gonna tell you something, T. So what a lot of folks do not know, and some do know. So I'm just gonna let you up front. Um, that is already gonna happen. They are going to sit down with you. Um, the technical term escapes me right now, but they do an assessment. They do an assessment and they go from there. Um, they don't just sit there and say, "Hey, here's a therapist." Because here's the thing with that. You could have more than just depression going on. Um, but no, but that's the good thing, T. Because if it is just depression, guess what? Your next appointment will just be with a therapist. But they also have to know who to send you to. Once again, as the person who is known as the test subject for a reason, I'm telling you, it's better to have them assess you and give you to the right people who want to take care of you versus you going to the wrong people who just want to pump you full of pills. And I'm going to tell you, pills don't solve everything. I'm not anti pill. I'm not anti prescription. I'm not anti big farm. But I will sit there and say medication does not cure mental illness. There is no cure for people like me. I was born with what I have. It developed over time and it has not gone anywhere. And it's a constant fight, struggle, and process to maintain. That's for anybody that has a mental illness. I happen to have two. So, if you are under the myth or the belief that if you take a magic pill, it's all going to stop your depression, it may help. And maybe that's the help that you need to be motivated for the day. If you're a person that can't focus on things, it may help. If you're a person that is very scared to go outside or be around people, it may help. I'm not going to say that my story and my path is anything of anybody else's but mine. I made the decision to not take meds, but that was after attempting to take them. And that was my choice. And this has been my path to my growth for it. And it probably could have been easier, but that was my choice. But I did try. So, but with that being said, another part of that is I've learned also in the process of that I need to communicate what I need. Just like you're going to go and you're going to speak to people about this, you need to sit there and be honest with yourself and say, "Well, what am I going to talk to them about? What am I going to tell them? What am I going to say?" Um, I feel really, really in the core of me that is something that I need to speak and teach about. That I don't think a lot of us understand, and a lot of us know. Um, I think one of the things is often mistaken when it comes to certain things is, oh, is this just social media mumbo jumbo, or is this just some spiritual blah 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 blah, or this is just what women say. And this is one of those things that this is not a man thing, this is not a woman thing, this is not um a sexual relationship thing, this is not a parent thing. This is an overall growth thing. So today, Infy is going to talk about something, and it's going to relate very, very well because the game that I'm playing demonstrates that I'm going to be playing. So, what I am going to tell you is once I start talking, the alerts will be off. It's nothing personal, but Infy is going to. What's up, Descend? um, Infy is going to put this on YouTube because you got people that like to sit and lurk and chat and blah blah blah. And if you are lurking and listening and taking notes, whatever the case may be, I have at it. But we also do know it's catfish copy season, so my words are always documented somewhere. So this part of the stream will actually be put on YouTube and parts of TikTok. So if it's something that I bring up and you don't remember or you're not sure, or if you just need a reminder of it, it's going to be there probably coming up this weekend. So what I'm actually going to talk to you about today before we start actually getting into the game. I think I'm actually in the game. Oh no, I'm in just chatting. Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay, the one particular thing that we consistently have conversations about, whether it has to do with your careers, it has to do with your personal life, it has to do with your interpersonal relationships, is the fact on people not understanding, people not feeling heard, people not being seen, whatever the case may be, right? And I was watching a TikTok earlier, and a gentleman sat there and he said, listen to the things that you consistently say during an argument. Listen to what you are constantly rewording in conflict, because that right there is your inner child. And we never lose our inner child. Our inner child is always within ourselves. We're always trying to protect our inner child, but our inner child is always trying to reach out. So, and before I go on more about that, I want to explain this very simply to you. If this is not necessarily something that you think you should hear or want to hear, I'm going to say, or it's this is some spiritual Hulu, blah, 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 blah. No. I'm telling you as a person who has been in the mental health industry. No, I am not a therapist. No, I am not a psychiatrist. I am actually on the outside. I am a patient. I've spent several years, unfortunately, going back and forth, having these conversations, sitting and hearing these things. And if it was not for the fact uh, for the fact of me, what's the word? Also, thank you for that follow. My alerts are currently off, so it's literally nothing personal. It's just because what I'm talking about right now. But I believe it's Keelan. Thank you for that follow. Welcome to the Asylum District. But yeah, and that's really the thing right there, Fluffy. Is it a spiritual journey? Yes, but it's not the spiritual aspect that people are like, oh, meditation and incense. Like I need people to understand that some things, a lot of people are learning terms and they're using these terms, right? Meditation has been used in very many therapy type sessions. It is to help you gain focus. It is to help you relax. It is also used in martial arts as well. It is for the same thing. So there are a lot of words that we see floating around that we don't know where it associates with, right? An inner child is a part of healing. Everybody, especially people of color, have gone through some form of trauma. Everybody. And a lot of us got swept under a rug. It wasn't necessarily always our fault. Some of it was our fault, but it was swept under a rug. And what goes on is we're not taught how to maintain and speak about these things. We are taught to sweep them under the rug. Once again, it's not our fault. Who was available to teach these things? Mental health therapists, psychiatrists was else frowned upon. You had the people that just didn't believe in it, and it was also not available for those who did not have the money. So now what is going on is everybody is on this awakening, which is perfectly fine by me. I'm very pro, please take yourself to therapy, because I'm not it 100% it, but I'm not it, and that's fine. I can provide you the tools, I can walk you to the door, but I am not the person that can fix that path for you, because I had to fix that path for myself. And in some of my path, it's still not completely fixed. I am still working on things. And one of the things that I have been seriously very focused on working on is having an open line of communication with people around you as best as you can. Now, don't get me wrong, talking is hard. I'm going to repeat it again. Talking is hard. We've learned how to do it our entire lives, but I can say to you, I would like a French fry. That's easy. It's very hard to say that you have hurt me. It's very hard to say that I need you. It is very hard for me to say that I love you. Because these are emotions. And not everybody processes those well, and that's okay. If you need to hear it again, it is okay that you cannot process emotions well. That does not make you bad. That does not make you evil. That does not make you wrong. It just means you might have to take a little bit of extra time with yourself. And one of them ways that you can not only understand not just yourself, but also the people around you. So you've probably heard it, and you've probably seen it, and once again thought it was like relationship mojo jojo or spiritual mojo jojo. And once again, I'm going to tell you, this is not mojo jojo. How I'm going to explain it to you is not mojo jojo. Yes, I'm going to show you references, and you're going to be like, but M, that says partner, and M, that says child. M has that covered. Okay. So one of the things, yeah, yeah. One of the things is, all of us have heard this. What's your love language? How many people can sit there and truly, genuinely say they know what their love language is? And we hear love, and we automatically go for the term of relationship, significant other, partner, whatever the case may be, right? But do you not love people within your life? Do you not love members of your family? If you have a child, do you not love your child? Do you not love your parents? This is a word that has been used to scare or condemn certain things. And trust me, normally I don't even use that word in my vocabulary. But in this particular instance, I have to use that word to sit there and teach you. That's exactly it right there, Fluffy. It's about bonds. So let's remove the term love, so maybe it won't scare so many people off. So what are your bond languages? What do you need from specific people in your life that you have a bond with, that you have become close with, that are important to you? What are the things that you need to speak to them about? What are the things you need for them to understand?